How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the first episode of HTC Today. I am Tom Zarkadas, normally from the Smartphone show. I will be doing this show. This will not be an every week show unless, say for instance, is HTC news to talk about. Then I will be putting on a show. If they put out enough information every week, then I'll have a show. But for right now, I will be putting out a show every time there's some information to put out about HTC. And today we're going to be talking about HTC smartphones that have not been released yet, that everybody's been hearing about and that we need to know more information about. For instance, the HTC Butterfly J that we just heard about that is being released in Japan. This thing is a monster, guys. I mean, it has a 5-inch display, 440 ppi. Now, let me explain when people are talking about ppi. What is ppi? Well, you know the little dots in your screen that all put together makes up your screen? Those are all your pixels. It's your pixel density, basically what it is. Each line of resolution has a certain amount of dots per inch. And for the new HTC Butterfly J, it's going to be 440 dots per inch. That's what that means, the ppi. So you can just imagine what kind of display we're going to be looking at on this new HTC smartphone. It is definitely going to be the phone to beat. I mean, the only other phone out there that I know of that is supposed to be having a display as good or even better is the Oppo Find 5. And that one's supposed to have 441 ppi, but we still don't know what kind of, is it LCD2, I think that's going to be in that one, because this is going to be the Super LCD 3. Can you just imagine? I mean, the HTC One X, to me, has the best display on any smartphone. It has the greatest color, resolution, everything. It looks fantastic in sunlight. This one is supposedly going to blow it away. I can't wait to basically play with this smartphone. It's supposed to be insane. But now, let's talk about some of the specifications for this smartphone. Where, to me, it may be failing is in the battery, because the HTC J Butterfly is only supposed to be getting a 2020 mAh battery. That's actually kind of low to me, because, I mean, if you think about the HTC Evo 4G LTE, that one has a 2050 battery in it. I mean, it has a smaller screen with a larger battery. This has a larger screen, smaller battery. I would assume that this one needs more power, but we're going to have to find out what the power consumption of the new LCD3 is before we can actually make any judgment calls on it. Plus, they're also going to be running on the new Snapdragon S4 Pro, which is supposed to be less nanometers. It's a quad-core processor, 1.5 gigahertz quad-core with 2 gigs of RAM. All these specs sound amazing, with an 8 megapixel camera, the whole nine. Now, the rest of the world is supposed to be seeing what is now being called HTC DLX. We've heard so many names: HTC DLX, HTC Incredible X, HTC One X5. I don't know, well, they all have X in it. This one is pretty much supposed to be like the HTC Deluxe 5-inch screen. We'll have to see. Now, they're talking about Verizon being the first ones to release this. We'll have to find out. I hope that it does reach every other cellular, carrier in the United States and the rest of the world. This is going to be a serious phone, so I do expect a lot of companies to be picking it up. I will be letting you know as soon as I get more information. Now, the info about the DLX, there's slight differences from what I'm hearing about the DLX to the Butterfly J. One of the differences is that battery. They're saying that the DLX is going to have a 2500 mAh. That's a huge jump. That's almost 25% jump in battery? We'll have to see if the thickness stays the same, because the HTC Butterfly J is only supposed to be 9.1 millimeters thick, and that's really thin. I mean, you see these pictures that I'm putting up, they're pretty insane. Another thing, they're saying that it might be having a 12 megapixel camera. HTC makes insane cameras as it is. The HTC One X has such an incredible camera. I love using it and playing with it. And now the One X Plus is supposed to have a few more tweaks in the HTC Sense Plus that's going to be coming on it. We'll see, guys. I mean, 12 megapixel camera on the DLX. We're going to have to wait to see to find out, but that sounds incredible. Of course, Jelly Bean and HTC 4 Plus is going to be in all of these new phones. Except, now that we're moving on, next month, we should be seeing the new HTC Windows phones. The Windows Phone 8. The 8X and the 8S, basically. As we know, the 8X is the 4.3-inch HTC Windows Phone 8 device that is coming out. And they're actually calling it the HTC Windows Phone 8X. It's going to have that incredibly long name. It is going to have a Super LCD 2 screen. It's only going to be about 130 grams, which is, you know, falling in place with all the other smartphones. Now, this is supposed to have an incredible screen. And let me tell you guys, I held it, I looked at it, it has an amazing display. The 342 ppi that's involved in this screen is incredible. It actually looks, the screen looks so good that it looks almost fake, that it's not, it looks like a picture, you know what I mean? It is so nice. I can't wait for you guys to actually see what this is like. I mean, from these pictures you really can't tell because it's a picture going through your computer screen. So the new operating system by Windows, Windows Phone 8, is a big step up from the previous versions. It is amazing that you're going to be able to do a lot of things with it. I'm hoping that the Windows Marketplace actually starts to double, triple, and quadruple in size. When Windows Phone market actually hits 500,000 apps, then I will come back out and say that they are a dominant force out there. Till then, they are falling behind, guys. I'm sorry to say. But these new HTC Windows phones should help, you know, bring some popularity back to Windows. Because, I mean, it's going to have the dual-core 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon S4 processor, which is proven to be terrific in the HTC One X and other phones like the HTC One S, Evo 4G LTE. You know what I'm talking about. It is only going to have 1 gig RAM. It is going to have a 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera. Guys, that is great. You're going to be able to do full HD front-facing, you know, camera use. So your Skype calls, everything, it's going to work amazing. Now, its little brother, or little sister, whichever one you want to call it, is the HTC Windows Phone 8S. You know, like the One X and the One S, they're doing the same thing. This is only going to have the Super LCD 1. It's a 4-inch display. It is only 233 ppi, so the display isn't that terrific. I don't know if it's really worth the money to get this one when the 8X is out there. Seriously, I mean, think about it. I already saw ads in the United States saying that you're going to be able to pick up the 8X for $99 on contract. That is a flagship Windows smartphone for $99. And you can get the 16 gig internal memory for $149. So what is the Windows Phone 8S going to cost? 50 bucks? Free? I mean, I guess if it's free, then, you know, you could jump all over it. I mean, it has a micro SD slot, so you can bump up the memory. But this one, to me, it's lacking in so many ways. Half gig RAM, only 5 megapixel camera, no front-facing camera. It's just not doing it for me, guys. It only has a 1 gigahertz dual-core processor. We'll have to see. I mean, we definitely know that Windows phones run really quick, even with the specs lacking the way they do. And that's only because, you know, Android smartphones just do so much more than any other smartphone like iPhone or Windows Phone out there. I know you guys are going to argue with me, but Android is the most open source there is out there, and you can change it up to do whatever you want. You can't really do that with everything else out there. These are basically these two phones that are coming out next month. And when I get more information and confirm pricing, because that $99, $149 for the 8X, that's insane. I can definitely see a lot of these selling for that type of price. Hopefully we do see a new Windows Phone 8 come out with a larger screen size, because 4.3 as the largest screen is just, again, lacking to me. But, you know, that's my opinion, not everybody else's. We also have another HTC One smartphone coming out called the VX. Now, again, to me, this is supposed to be replacing the One V. Obviously, with the V in the name, they're blending an X to get a little more popularity and bumping up the specs a little bit more. Some of the bump ups on the specs are, it's a Super LCD 2 display, which is very nice. 245 ppi pixel density. Okay, that's better than, let's say, the One V, coming up to the One S abilities. It has a micro SD slot. It has 8 gigs of internal memory, but with the SD slot, who cares? It is going to have a 5 megapixel primary camera and a VGA front-facing camera, so it's bumped up on those as well. What else we got? We got a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. If this is going to be considered, you know, entry level, I'm telling you right now, guys, they're changing the whole terms of entry level, because this is definitely a great smartphone for entry level. 1800 mAh battery, and it's only going to be about 124 grams. That's pretty light, 9 millimeters thick. Entry level smartphone, guys. 4.5-inch screen. This is a terrific smartphone. We'll have to see what the pricing is. I mean, considering you can go out right now and on Amazon, you can get the HTC One X on contract for 99 cents. So this one better be cheap. AT&T is going to be releasing that phone. We'll see where else they're going to be releasing it in the world. I'm pretty sure that it's going to come out probably with different names. We'll have to wait and see. But 4.5-inch screen is going to stand out. There's not too many phones with that screen size. You know, Motorola has the 4.55-inch screen, and Samsung's old Galaxy S2 Skyrocket has a 4.5-inch screen. So HTC is definitely going to stand out. But now, what I want to see is the new HTC One X Plus. I can't wait to get my hands on that phone. I can't believe I wasn't even sent a dummy phone, a demo phone. Usually I get to play with these things before they come out. Let's see if that happens again. I'm hoping for a December release on this, at least, or even earlier, November. That would be terrific. It's coming straight out of the box with Jelly Bean. Some of the increase in specifications don't come around until you get over to, like, let's say, the front-facing camera is 1.6 megapixel. Great, but it's coming with a Tegra 3 1.7 gigahertz quad core. That's huge, guys. In the United States, we only got to see the Snapdragon S4 dual-core processor because of the LTE capabilities. Now, the new Tegra 3 has LTE capabilities. It's quad-core. It's 1.7 gigahertz. It's a beast. I can't wait to see what this thing does. It's supposed to be... I couldn't crash the regular HTC One X. Look it up, guys. HTC One X crash test. 3 movies. Look it up on YouTube. I'm telling you right now. It is a 6-minute video showing you on how you cannot crash it. I was trying to do so many things to it. All those people out there that are saying that their HTC One X is crashing, hook it up to your computer and check out your folders. See what's locked up in that memory. I bet it's all jammed up. That's what's slowing down your phone. You got to erase that. Every time you visit a website, it takes a screenshot and saves it in your phone. That ends up taking a lot of memory. Check it out. Sometimes your music likes to duplicate in your memory. You might want to check that out. Clear up that memory and get the HTC One X running better. This One X Plus, I can't wait. The only thing that I was hoping for is a little bit of a bump on the RAM, but, you know, we'll see. Oh, and the fact that it's going to be coming with a 2100 mAh battery. Golden. That is golden. The last thing I'm going to talk about today is the HTC One S SE. Waiting to see when this one's going to come out. I think that this is the way the One S should have came out to begin with, because this is not really that much of a jump except for memory. The memory is going to be going up from 6 gigs internal all the way up to 64 gigs of internal memory, and it's going to be coming in white. It's coming straight out of the box with Jelly Bean, and it's going to be coming straight out of the box with HTC Sense 4 Plus. As soon as I get my hands on one of these to test out the speed and everything, I will let you know. I'm hoping that they changed up the display a little bit, tweaked it to make it a little bit better, because when you compare it to the One X destroys it. But I'll tell you right now, it does look nice and white, doesn't it? Alright guys, thank you very much. That was our first episode of HTC Today. Give me some comments, hit subscribe, click like if you liked it. Let me know what you think of the show and what you want me to be showing you guys. I'm also going to be adding some how-tos for your HTC smartphones in the future. Thanks a lot guys, have a great day.